What's good with it, y'all? What's good with it? Welcome back to A1 Hoop Zone. Man, topic of discussion today, a dope interview I watched this yesterday, man, on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero with D Wade, man. So we're going to break that down in this live, talk about it. Tons, man, there were so many gems that was dropped in that interview. If y'all haven't seen it, y'all don't know about anything like that, make sure you go check it out. Shout out to them. An extremely dope conversation, dope interview. Again, like I said, D Wade dropped a ton of gems. Melo dropped a ton of gems. They gave a ton of insight. It allowed people to look at how basketball works. You know what I'm saying, for people that did it at the highest of levels, right? But before we get into any of that, man, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's see who we got in the house, man. What's good with the DS? Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, man, I wanted to hop on and double dip. Normally, y'all know I probably would have just did a video, but I was like, man, we got to get this interview reaction to this interview is justice and just due for sure. So let's pull up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna break it down as best as I can, share with y'all the insights and the gems that I took away from it, and a little bit more. Share a little bit extra into it. Go a little bit more in detail and in depth about what I mean, what we heard, what they was talking about, where they was going with it, how they were able to have such a dope conversation, and we're gonna build from there. But again, if y'all haven't checked it out, make sure you go check it out. Melo's podcast with Kid Mero, man. It's called 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero. They got over like 220, subs and things of that nature. So they definitely working. They doing a great job over there. The setup is great. The conversation is dope. Everything about that podcast, man, it's definitely a dope listen. It's a dope listen for sure. What's good with it, Queen? Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. My recommendation, definitely go check it out, man. Hell of an interview. They do a dope job every time. I went back and watched a couple of the other older ones as well. Them boys be up there cooking, man. They have fun, and that's the thing you can see as clear as day. When they're doing these interviews, it doesn't even feel or look like an interview. It's just a conversation. Obviously, I know these players is former colleagues or teammates of theirs and friends of theirs and things of that nature, so it make it easy for them to go on there and have a seamlessly, dope conversation instead of it feeling like it's like, some interview on like, 60 Minutes or something like that. For them, it's literally like they're just out there building, having a dope conversation, man. And we're gonna dive into it. And we definitely gonna talk about it for sure. What's good with it, Jay Gibbs? Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. So right out the gate, man, when I was listening to it and they got into it right away, they was just, Melo was asking, how was it D Wade coming into the league and having early success, right? Because they're, again, looking at the fact that Jason Tatum just got his first championship at 26. But, JT's been in the league for a minute, man. He done made it to the conference final, a few times, made it to the NBA finals a couple of times. So he's experienced what it feels like to lose. He's experienced the losses, but then was able to come back so quickly and get an NBA championship up out of it. And D Wade told him, like, bro, I didn't really have that long experience of a drought of losing. You know what I mean? It was like D Wade, it was within like his first 3 years, he won a championship. I want to say first two. Obviously Shaq came there and Shaq, told him, and he admitted saying Shaq told him, hey, young gun, this is what you're going to have to do to be on this pedestal to match with the guards I done played with and what we need to do to win. And you got the keys. I'm just a diesel. You know what I mean? And he explained the importance of how important that was to him as a player and as a young player growing in the game and coming into the game and things like that. One thing I didn't know, and it sounds like a lot of people didn't know, that he actually had his, I think he said his ACL removed, where he was having bone on bone action, coming into the league, and nobody knew that. You know what I mean? So imagine if this man D Wade would have been right from the get go and not having a knee injury or having his ACL. It was either ACL or MCL or meniscus. Was it meniscus? It was one of the three where he had bone on bone rubbing coming into NBA, but nobody knew that. You couldn't even tell just how explosive he was. And I'm like, man, that's wild. What's good with it, brother? What's good with it? That's my bro right there, man. Salute to you, bro. Hope all is well. Appreciate you sliding through and catching this joint. Yeah, I was just cooking on that interview, man. The interview was super dope by Melo and D Wade and Kid Mero, man. D Wade was just dropping a ton of gems, just letting it be known, like, He was like, bro, it's so much in the league that happened that people don't know about. Again, a lot of these players, whether it be coming into the draft or it be them, into the draft or even playing the first year and stuff, a lot of them deal with injuries, and some of those injuries are not listed, nor are they shared publicly and stuff like that. Which a lot, we know that that's the case, right? Quee said he would have been unstoppable. That's a that's a fact. Our brother said he was like for sure. Wade was a monster. I think Ant more like him than Jordan. Yeah, that's man. And we're gonna get into that part too, for sure. We definitely gonna get into that. Jay Gibbs said them D Wade dunks was, man. I'm telling you, bro, to think that this man was having bone on bone with his knee and was still bodying people like that is insane. Being the Flash, being quick, the Euros, the everything, man. That is insane to think he dealt with that coming into the league. You know what I mean? And got it fixed. But he was just, he dropped a ton of gems. He was like, that happened. Diesel coming to him, Shaq telling him, here's the keys, young gun. I'm like I said, you to drive, I'm just the Diesel. You know what I mean? And we saw how that worked out for them winning the championship and things of that nature. And then he just kind of said, like, having true veterans around you that understand the game and has been in the game is something that can help, newer players, rookies, or just young players in general, second and third year players. And he said, like, it opened doors for him that he didn't know was real. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I think the funniest thing to me, he said he ain't never been called cute his entire life. All of a sudden, he posing for GQ magazines, and then he on the most handsome or most attractive man or something like. He said, and all of a sudden now I'm listed in the top thing. He said, bro, I ain't never been none of these things my entire life, but sitting next to the right people, they open doors for you, and all of a sudden you go from being an ugly duckling to, a beautiful swan or something. I was bust out laughing, bro. I was like, man, that's wild, bro. He was like, that's wild. I ain't never been called cute. And all of a sudden I'm on magazines talking about most handsome man and stuff like that. Mrs. Just Do, what's good with the salute? Appreciate you coming through. I thought that was funny, but then again, if you think about it, it's funny as hell to think about at the same time. Like, people do open doors for you. It does matter who on your team or who you close with and things of that nature. Like, would we hear from a Rich Paul? And that's, if y'all don't know who that is, that's LeBron James' agent. That's Bronny's agent. That's AD's agent. That's Clutch Sports, which is, again, the most probably hated agency out there due to the fact that they get every single one of their clients the biggest bag. Every single one of them. Anybody that's signed to Clutch Sports or to Rich Paul directly, as far as him being the agent, every last one of them get paid. Every last one of them. There isn't one of them that's ever walked away from him and say he didn't do a good job for them. And if I'm being honest, I don't think any of the players that signed with him ever walked away, because he gets them the bag and the. Shout out to Clutch Sports. Shout out to Rich Paul, man. Yeah, my brother said Clutch don't play, bro. He's like, biggest bag and where they want to go every single time. Yeah, salute to Black excellence. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Quee said that speaks volumes. Yes. And that's the point where I'm getting at, is that it's a matter of who you know. LeBron opened the door for them, but he made them put in the legwork. He just didn't open the door and then just hand them the keys to everything and say, hey, I got this lined up for you. LeBron was like, nah. All of them brothers surrounding him. Mav, Rich Paul, and I can't remember the other friends of LeBron that's been friends with him since high school. Literally, they went to school, they went to college, they learned to master their craft in their own way. He just supported them along the way to allow them to have that freedom to focus all of their attention on that, to maximize what it is that they want to do and what they're pursuing. And what do you see? You see a team around LeBron that all of them are getting to the bag in a major way. None of them is sitting there looking for handouts from him. You know what I mean? He opened the door and they put in the work. That's what a true team is supposed to do. And so with D Wade, he was kind of just saying the same thing, is like, being around the right people open the door, but it was him that had to go in and put in the work. You know what I mean? And that was something, again, that I was just like, damn, that's another gem to the fact of it. When you see some of these veterans and they're extremely successful on the highest level, whether it's on the court or off the court, you see how that reflects at times as well when it comes to these players. Like, how does it rub off on them? When you have a poor veteran leadership, look at the teams. I mean, and D Wade, and segueing perfectly into another part. When D Wade said he went to Chicago, it was more like he's going back home. He's getting to relax a little bit. He can play a little bit, have some fun in a different type of way. And he said he wasn't a good leader to that young team. You know what I'm saying? That was the team, if I'm not mistaken. Jimmy Butler was on that team as a rookie or as a young team. Oh, my bad, y'all. Let me get to the chat. I don't want to go too far without y'all. Miss Judge Juice said the people want to see you do well is a very key. You being able to walk through different doors in life. Yep, that's a fact. We said no jealous or envious people around him. That's a fact. And then she said they all happy to see each other eat. Yeah, and that's like why they're so successful and why they're winning so much, right? But back to the Chicago Bulls, like that team, you could see when D-Wade was there, he wasn't focused on, and again, he admitted to this as well on this interview, and he said it, I wasn't focused on the team. I was focused on me. I wasn't a good veteran. I wasn't a good leader for them young guns. I wasn't a good example. He was out there doing all type of stuff. He was like, oh, what time is practice? And they was like, what time do you want practice to be? And he was like, oh, okay, this time. Like them type of things. He was enjoying like the fruits of his labor type of thing where he didn't care about making sure that he set a good example, showing up early and staying late to practice and stuff like that. First man in, last man out of practice and things that come with that, man. He admitted to it and he apologized, obviously, but he was just focused on like enjoying being back home because he is from Chicago. He is from Illinois. So for him, it was just like, it's his homecoming. I'm about to go enjoy this home cooking and everything else that come with it. And as y'all can remember, when he played for them, they did not do good, bro. It was just moments of you just getting to see him have happy moments individually. You know what I mean? It wasn't anything you could look at and say, oh, D-Wade did this. He helped them out in this nature. He led them along the way as an old player and stuff like that. It's like, nah, he went there for the point of, again, enjoying being back home. That was his thing, right? That he admitted to it. So he said, he didn't do them any justice in any type of way, bad examples left and right. And then he was just explaining the culture and difference between the Bulls and the Heat, where the Heat was more of like a military type culture where everything was by the book, by the T, like, what I'm saying, it's scheduled specifically out and you got to do it this specific way. Pat Riley don't play. And Melo was just saying like how, how with Denver and stuff, like it was different to the point where, they showed up and it was supposed to be like, teams have certain time, scheduling times or when they're supposed to leave the training facility or the gym. So the other team can show up and get their shots up or scrim or, workouts and things of that nature. And he said when he got there, bro, he was like, man, Carmelo and them, they have rookies that, they kicking the ball into the stands and having the rookies go get it. And Melo said it like, bro, they would do that depending if the rookie is popping off. He didn't really do it because he said that he wanted to make sure, like, you know what I mean? Like he gave the young guns the proper respect because he didn't want nobody doing that to him. But he said you have some rookies that come in popping off at the mouth like they know it alls and they hot this and that. So he said he punt them up. He'll wait till it's like a few minutes before the bus getting ready to leave, and he'll kick that all the way up in the stands and make the rookies go get it. And he was like, and there's a couple of times, man, some of them rookies got left. The bus will just leave. And I was like, God damn. That's absolutely wild. He said he could have lied and blamed other people on the team. Yeah, he could have. He definitely could have. What's good with it, Just Do? Salute to you, bro. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. He said, peace, my bro, Cook. Hey, we trying, man. We trying back-to-back days. Kids not here, so I'm going to take advantage of it. And also, if I knew how the part of it works, the copyright of it and stuff like that, man, I would play that interview and just break every single part of it down. But I'm not too familiar with it, and I ain't trying to spend that much time to do it and end up getting a copyright strike or something like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go off of everything I remember of it, the little notes I took from it, and just break it down, bro. But he was just saying, Melo was like, yeah, you had some hot, some hot shit type of rookies and stuff like that, think they know it all. They was punting the ball all the way up in the stands, and then they'll wait, before a few minutes for the bus leave. So it makes them have to sprint up there and get the ball and bring it back. And so I was like, damn, that's wild. And D-Wade said, yeah, with the Heat, that was unrealistic. None of that was happening. He was like, bro, that was not happening. The Pat Riley wasn't going for it. None of them was going for it. So it was the Heat culture. And again, you can tell because it was a successful culture. It was a winning culture. It's very by the book. And I think one reason for that, being in Miami, man, there's so many different ways for you to get lost along your mission in life as far as if you're a basketball player or a professional athlete. So it made sense for Pat Riley to run a tight ship like that because he wanted to make sure everybody stayed focused and locked in. In Miami, man, you make the wrong turn, you mess around and end up like Delonte West. And for him, I know he has mental health issues and things of that nature. I bring him into the category of it, meaning that like you can be out of the league and just out on the streets, literally type of thing. So a lot of them players, man, they stayed locked in and definitely did that. My brother DeRay said, how do you think an organization can create that culture? It starts with winning, man. When you have a winning or successful culture from the top down, that's where it starts at completely. Pat Riley, you know, obviously we know he won with the Lakers, and then he had success in Miami. So for him, it's strictly business. He want to get to the bag in a major way, and he understand one way to get to the bag and one way to stay on top is you have to win championships or you have to have productive winning seasons. If you're not doing that, you're gonna fall off in a major way. Whether it be you're gonna lose your fans, you're gonna lose the locker room. But when you walk into a room, and I guess I can segue this part too. I'm gonna jump back and forth a little bit in this interview. You can tie success into for example, when Jordan walks into a room when they did the top 75 players and stuff like that, they said they literally could see this man aura. Similar to what Dave Chappelle said about Rick James, or was that Charlie Murphy when he said about Rick James when he walked in, you could see his aura, like he was like glowing, you know, like, give it to me, baby, you know, like that funny joy. If y'all ain't seen that, go check it out. It's a classic. But anyway, like when Jordan walks into a room, you can feel the confidence, you can feel the success, you can feel like the level of like, you know, he here, you know, that type of thing. So with the same thing comes into play with a culture, like with Pat Riley when he walked in and sat at the head of that helm of that position, they knew his business. You know what I'm saying? That slick the hair back, the suit on, he coming in there, that no nonsense type look. Pat Riley got a look on his face that said, if you look wrong, he gonna slap the taste out your mouth. I mean, he not gonna do it. You know, he get beat. He old as hell now, but he just had this look about him. But it was a garnered respect, and it starts at the top of your work mentality, your work ethic, how you are as a person, how you treat people. If people see your leader leading by example of actually having these core elements of things about themselves and carry themselves a certain way, you have to fall in line. You can't be the one that want to say you the goof troop and you're not going to do it, which is why you're seeing what with D Wade being down in Miami. I mean, not D Wade, with Jimmy Butler. When he first got there, people loved the fact of what they saw from him because they saw a hard worker, no nonsense, I'm a get in your ass type of player, right? But then when you start seeing him do these, when you see Jimmy Butler do these damn media pictures and stuff like that, you got emo Jimmy, Jamaican Jimmy. Actually, I'm gonna pull some of them. I'll do it towards the end of the video, man. I'll do it towards the end of the video where some of these things Jimmy Butler did in media for these pictures was absolutely wild. But that's just adding a fun side to it. But when he on the court, it's no fun. It's all business. You know what I mean? That's how Jimmy got to it. So he kind of lead by that example too. My brother DeRay said, I feel like Miami is the blueprint, but what are the main reasons it happened? I'm gonna have to say Pat Riley, bro. Pat Riley, when he came there, you could see the shift in the Heat culture as far as how they were doing, along with the players, having some Hall of Fame players, Alonzo Mourning, what's my other? Yeah, Gary Payton, Karan Butler. You had Udonis Haslem, who was a lifer of being there and finally just now retiring from. What's good with it, T? Salute to you, Brace. What's good, Pimp? Not much, man. Just doing something a little different, double dipping and doing a reaction video to that extremely dope conversation, man, that Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony had on their podcast. Again, if y'all not familiar with that podcast, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero, check it out. They doing great. They doing great work. Great, dope interviews. They got over 220K subs, so they definitely make doing their thing over there, man. And and salute to Miss Just Do. My bad, I'm getting late in the chat here. Support from the dude. We rock with you. We all got to eat, bros. Appreciate it. Since you went above and beyond for me, I'm gonna throw a classic back at y'all and do the same for you. Appreciate it.
Just look at this spectacular takeoff. He jumped over his head.
Appreciate it. Again, y'all go above and beyond for me. That's the least I can do is show y'all that vintage Vince Carter clip when you're jumping over that 7-footer. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support and love in that super chat. Brother DeRay said, Mr. Jadu, much love. Appreciate it. Yeah, and Miss Josie, that's my like real brother right there. The ratio, that's my real brother right there. He said they had a really good interview with Martin and Will Smith as well. Yeah, and that's the thing is I'm late to getting to that content And I made sure I subbed right away because I was like, man, I listened to that whole D-Wade one because, again, yesterday, like I said, kids not here. I got a little bit of time. So I'm listening to it and I'm like, damn, this is a dope-ass conversation because I didn't had conversations similar to this with professional athletes or NBA players off camera, like when I was much younger, though, before I even started even thinking about YouTube or none of that. And they told me a bunch of these things too, but it was just dope just hearing it from people that won at the highest level, and then just hearing, like, seeing them just talk about it so nonchalant, you know what I mean, on camera, and then just some of the stories I haven't heard. And I was like, that's dope, man. And definitely I rock with and support everybody that's just out there, you know what I'm saying, utilizing YouTube for the right reason, you know what I mean? And so just watching it, I was like, damn, like, all right, I gotta react to this. I gotta react to it. I gotta do it. But back to when brother DeRay asked as far as the culture thing, it started with Pat Riley. When Pat Riley went to the Heat, and again, you got to have the right players. They've had Hall of Fame players come through there and things of that nature, but it starts at the top. It starts at the top. I would say for the Lakers, that organization, it's more glitz and glamour. It didn't start at the top for them. I guess when what's my man's Dr. Bus was alive, everything fell in line because it started at the top of how he ran the organization, and it made sense. And then it was a trickle down or domino effect, right? As soon as Dr. Bus, unfortunately, his untimely demise, left, you could see how scattered that organization got. So and then when Phil Jackson came, it was a calming sense of what happened. When Phil Jackson walks in that locker room or walks into that and to that organization or that building, there is no doubt. There is no second question. There is, because why? Because he's won it at the highest of levels with some of the greatest players that are one of the greatest players that ever played this game. And so people didn't question anything. It was immediate. What I say goes. There is no questioning it. If you don't like it, there's the door. And when you have that mentality, but on top of him saying, here's the door, but before you go to the door, how can we make this work so I can maximize getting the most out of you? And a lot of people kind of turned back and was like, well, all I was looking for was this. And if his response is, oh, that's all you had to say, we can figure that out. Let's go. But in a calming matter, it automatically, like, diffuses a situation. It diffuses a person, you know what I'm saying, to drop their guards. And now they want to focus at the task at hand, which is winning championships. But it definitely hinges on top to bottom. It's kind of where you see an organization really start to grow, really start to be able to see success, and really start to build and have championship aspirations. And for me, I'll say I think the Timberwolves is heading in the right direction, right? And I say that because I won't say it starts at the top for them. They drafted a player that's going to demand that from them. Even though Anthony Edwards has this very, like, playful mentality, he has that very, like, he's for the people, very young, extremely confident, but very playful when it comes to certain things. But when it comes to winning in basketball, you can see that switch click. And for him, is he gonna say, like they understand they have a generational talent over there. So what's going to be the demand? The demand is going to be, get me a coach in here, or get people in this organization. It necessarily ain't got to be a coach. Get people in this organization that come from or of a winning culture or mentality, and surround me with the people that can get me there. And I promise you, if they can get me there, I'm gonna take you all the way. All you gotta do is get me there, and I'll do the rest. Like, that's when you have a player like that, the organization has to absolutely do everything they can to make that happen. Otherwise, only thing you're going to see is a Kevin Garnett 2.0. And we know how that played out. KG gave the Minnesota Timberwolves blood, sweat, and tears, everything. And it took him to walk away. And the first year he walked away, they won a championship. And guess what? The Minnesota Timberwolves fan base, and I would probably say the Wolves themselves, celebrate as if they won a chip, just because they know how much KG gave to them. I don't think they're going to squander that when it comes to Anthony Edwards. They're going to have to definitely make sure they lock in and get that man everything he can to win. They have to. Otherwise, man, it's going to be all bad. And another, like, and again, I'm only answering the question about the organizations because it's like when you look at Washington Wizards, the Detroit Pistons after the Bad Boy Piston era, or after the Rasheed Wallace, Big Shot, Chauncey Billups, and Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, and Tayshaun Prince, after the Malice in the Palace era, like, you can tell they went through multiple coaches. You can tell they haven't had marquee players or big names there and things like that. And it starts with at the top. There's been changes there. But what are they seeing now? They maxed out Cade Cunningham, who they believe is a generational talent. Now they have to start building and getting back to that. And guess what? Cade Cunningham is going to demand that same type of request for them. I need you guys to get somebody in there of a winning culture, surround me with the right people, and I promise you, I'll take care of the rest. I think that's some. It starts at the top, but when you have a player that again is showing you that they can do the rest, they're going to demand ownership to do what they need to do to put people around them for them to win. My brother DeRay said KJ reaction is how I acted when you dunked off the backboard for the game with us. Hey, bro, people don't know, man. They have no clue, bro. They have no clue. DS says Scottie Pippen Jr. better than Bronny James. I mean, how much older is Scottie Pippen Jr.? DS, if I'm not mistaken, he's been in the league for a couple years now and still not really getting no minutes. But shout out to Larsa, though. Shout out to Larsa Pippen. The Razor, he said, let's go. We'll ant the truth. I'm telling you, bro. That's the thing. And Anthony Edwards, man, oh my gosh, bro. Like, I had to do a whole separate little thing on him. Miss Joju said this is a great mindset to have. Yeah, absolutely got to. Yeah, absolutely have to. Brother DeRay said the West is tough. Gonna need the org to do their part to get out the Western Conference. They got to, bro. They got to. If the Timberwolves organization don't do right by him by surrounding him from a staffing standpoint and a player personnel, bro, they gonna lose him. They might get one more max contract, and then right when that's up, he gonna leave that last year player option open, and they gonna mess around and lose him because he want to win. But the message from a lot of these veterans is what a message from a lot of these veterans, including KG, is don't stay pinned down to one place because at the end of the day, it's a business and you have to do what's best for you, just like the organization is going to do what's best for them. And we've seen that time and time and again where I use an extremely, I would say kind of messed up situation and using Isaiah Thomas from the Celtics. But, it's the one that jumps out the most where this dude's sister had passed. He still played the game. And they obviously pictures of him on the bench being, consoled by Avery Bradley prior to a game when he found out his sister had just died. And literally this man is sitting here crying in the, on the front row, still goes out and plays the game and gives them everything he has, including his body, has a hip injury. And guess what? They did that man wrong, bro. I mean, again, they did him wrong from a standpoint of us being a fan or me being a fan of the NBA and other players and stuff. But from an organization standpoint, they literally said it. This is a business. We're sorry this happened, or we're sorry, this and that. But we got to do what's best for the organization. We got to do what's best for the team to move forward. Again, extreme, man. Yeah, y'all know how I felt. I was far along in my life where I could start really, kind of cussing and saying what I had to say about it. But yeah, y'all know what it is when it comes to something like that. My brother Tito T said, Diaz, you sound like a hater. Pippen Jr. is cold though, but if you've seen Bronny last 2 games, you can't keep saying he's not good. Yeah, and that's the thing, T. And I said it. A lot of people, man, F it. I'm gonna go off tangent. A lot of people got Bronny effed up from the standpoint of not understanding is that he's still a high school player. He's a teenager, right? He went from high school to college. Only was able to play like 10 to 15 games in college, and people forget he had a heart situation where he had to have heart surgery. Come back from heart surgery, get in shape, play the few college games, and then enter the draft. And he had to put in the legwork in the draft to get drafted. Again, this is a second round 55th pick. Who the hell expectation for a second round 55th pick is fitting the players if they're a top 5 pick in the first round? Unrealistic, something that's not discussed. I'll give DS $1,000 right now if he can name, without Googling it, name me a second round 55th draft pick any year. Outside of Bronny, name one. You're not going to be able to. I'll give you all the time in the world. Don't Google it. You're not going to be able to do it. So for me, it's like I look at it and I don't even judge. I just look at the fact that he's going to go through the developmental process of understanding the speed of the game, get out of his shooting slump and things of that nature. Like he's still literally, like I said, a teenager that's getting himself right, getting himself revved up to be able to officially be like, I'm him. I'm a true NBA player. Like I got drafted and I'm playing multiple years. I'm playing meaningful basketball. You got to get that time. There's only been how many players, if you're not in the top 5 in the draft, how many of them can you say that they literally came out and had an immediate impact? It's not too many, bro. It's not too many. There, I mean, at one point over recent years, outside of Wemby, yeah, let's say outside of Wemby and over the past like few years, like there ain't too many drafts where it was like that. You know what I mean? The drafts that had like the LeBron, D Wade, and Melo draft, the Kobe, Stephon Marbury, KG, Steve Nash, that draft, like them draft days is over where it comes in that stacked. You know what I mean? Like in the 2000 drafts, those drafts was absolutely crazy. The 90s drafts, absolutely crazy. There's gonna go through a lull in time and period where you're gonna get a draft and you have no idea who the hell they are, which is you would think with now how big social media is that they would be out there in the masses or in the public eye even more because you have more cameras, you have more outlets and things of that nature where they're going to get more exposure, but that's not the case. It's not. And so with Bronny, Bronny is literally bringing, for Summer League basketball, people are tuning in because they want to see it. Bronny is bringing more eyes and views to Dalton Connect. And Dalton Connect definitely, low key probably is thanking Bronny because he's starting to now catch his win and people are seeing Dalton and they're just like, damn, that's their 17th pick. He out here dropping dubs left and right like that. Like it's happening, bro. And like I said, Bronny and a lot of people was like, well, he only got in the league because, you know, who his daddy is. Well, a lot of people only get a job because when they get a referral, that referral got them got their foot in the door. But yet it took them to be able to sell their resume or sell themselves to the job for them to get hired. So this is the same thing. LeBron got his foot in the door. Bronny was the one in the combine that had to make those threes, do those cone drills, show off his 40+ inch vertical. Like Bronny had to do those things. LeBron just opened the door. That's like any other day in walking life. If you're in a position or you can allow or help one of your friends or family get a job, you're gonna do that. So let's just put things in perspective when it comes to that way. You know what I mean? Quee said, hopefully the NBA returns to how it used to be so I can start watching seasonal games instead of waiting for the playoffs. I think the competitiveness is definitely going to start picking up a lot more. My brother DeRay said, let Bronny grow. Can't get too high or too low on him. It's early in his career. Exactly, bro. That's a fact. Quee said he has a heart. Yep. Bronny will develop into an amazing player. He will be just fine. He will adjust. Yeah, he ain't got no choice. He been in the limelight. When you of a substance where you're somebody, when you're somebody's, how do you say? When you're like when you have a mega superstar or a person where he's the best player at something or one of the best to ever do it, you're going to be in the limelight. Period. Just like how Bryce, LeBron's other son, is in the limelight because he's 6'6" already. And he's still in high school. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's like a sophomore or something, freshman, sophomore, or maybe a junior, somewhere around there. But he's 6'6", and people are saying they're comparing him more to LeBron than Bronny. The James family don't care, bro. Like you talking about a man and LeBron who dealt with media and being like highly sought after in the public eye since he was 17, 18 in high school, and never had a blemish on his name. Like, come on, man. They not worried, bro. They not worried. LeBron said it in an interview too. They're not worried. Bronny is out there playing basketball. He's not worried. DS said skinny, but I'm just saying though, Bronny getting better. He just needs time to adjust. That's what my point. DS, he a teenager, bro. Like, what's good with it? D Free, salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. There ain't too many, you know what I'm saying, first year players that come in and they're comfortable and have a stranglehold on the game. It's just not that easy. DS A1 Hoops on your analysis of Russell Westbrook at the Nuggets. Bro, I dropped a video of it, but no, I'll say it super quick. I think for him, it's a perfect situation because he's already extremely in shape. That Nuggets crowd is looking for a crowd favorite player, and they just got them one. And what I mean by that is a person that's extremely energetic and reps for the team, but also has that dog in them. That Nuggets team didn't really have that. They had Jamal Murray, which again, he's there, some shots and stuff like that. They had Nikola Jokic, again, the MVP, but Russ brings a different type of dog and element to that team, bro. It just KCP gave it to him, but he didn't give it to him to a point where he had an impact on the game outside of being 3-and-D. Russ is going to give them everything in between. Assist, rebound, tough defense, scoring, attacking the rim, monstrous dunks. the energy of just screaming to like, bro, he brings a different element to that team. I'm telling y'all right now. I said it in the video, and I was excited that he's going. Clippers didn't appreciate him. They was talking about, oh, the Lakers are looking to potentially bring him back. If I was Russ, don't go back. Hell no. Go to Denver and enjoy it, bro. They gonna love him in Denver. I'm telling y'all. And I also found it funny as hell the Jazz. I think that's one of the only times I've never seen a team buy out his contract twice. I ain't never seen it, but shout out to him. Shout out to him, man. What's good with the AB? Salute to you, bro. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, man. That's just my very quick analysis on Russ going over there. T said people don't realize the 55th means you almost didn't get picked. He went where he was supposed to. 55th as a development player. Yeah, don't tell him nothing, dude. No, don't tell him nothing. T. They'll get it at some point. My brother DeRay said, helping a friend and family is one thing. I do anything for my son. I hope other fathers would as well. That is an absolute fact, bro. I'm telling you, absolute fact. He said, what's good with AB? Okay, y'all over here chopping it up. Yeah, that's an absolute fact. Absolute fact. We'll be interested for sure. Yeah, that's a fact. My brother DeRay hit it right on the head, bro. Right on the head. If I can, let Clay, man, let my son be interested in something that I do, bruh. Showing that man everything he can know, and he already as a 3-year-old extremely coordinated and extremely athletic and very fast. So I was like, okay, let me see what he has more interest in. He has interest in everything. I was shooting the ball and he's trying to do it. I'm running and he's running with me. Like I'm like, okay, I got a miniature me. Now I got to figure out what sport he wants most. So then that way I can go ahead and help guide him into that direction. Because I did track football and basketball, and all of them played a key element and help him. My athleticism, jumping, hand-eye coordination, all of that stuff tied in. And when you're an athlete and you pour it all into one thing, but you have that background on all those things, bro, they all tie in and they help. Trust me when I tell y'all. My brother said, he said, Clay next. Absolutely. And this is my brother, man. We used to go literally in Minnesota, go anywhere and play pickup basketball, for the love of it at the point, bro, and go and shut down parks, go and shut down gyms. Like he didn't witness me catch bodies like badly. But man, shout out to my bro, man. But back to this interview part though, back to it, because I definitely went off tangent for a hot minute. But yeah, D-Wade, and he said it. So he said he wasn't a good leader and stuff for the Chicago Bulls, and he went there, right? And so we'll segue over to him saying, and when he got up out of there and he went to the Cavs because LeBron was like, hey, come over here. He said being over at the Cavs, it was a nasty feeling, bro. He's kind of out of shape. He said he was 34, 35. When you hit a certain point, you start losing a step in a major quick way. And that's what he said. He was like, that's why he wore number 9, his Olympic jersey number. He was like, bro, it just didn't feel right being there. But I didn't feel right within my own body. And I knew that the time was coming where it's time to go ahead and start, you know what I'm saying? Start, what is it, when the bars close and they start playing that one song? He said, yeah, that's what it started to do right there. He started to realize it. So he went ahead, did his little year stint and with Cleveland, out of shape and all that stuff, and got up out of there, and then went back to Miami. And he said it, bro. It was just more of like, it was fun. It was home. And then he had those moments of kind of that farewell tour type of thing, right? And he said, and just relishing in that moment of just when you're playing those games, understanding this is the last go around for the game you love, and playing it at the high level like this. He was like, it put it in a different perspective of just looking back at where he came from, of again, coming into the game, no knee cartilage, bone on bone action, rubbing, almost instant type of success, and winning the championship within the first few years of being in the league. And he was just like, bro, it all was just like amazing. And then he talked about Team USA and what that meant, right? And he said it, like how him and Melo and him and Melo was like the young guns that would help the team come back if they're down in the scrimmages from team blue and team white and stuff, and just saying like what it meant to be like praised and looked at when he's playing alongside Kobe. And when they obviously went to the Olympics and won gold, the Redeem team, he was like, bruh, because they had lost, prior to that, right? And that's when Kobe kind of came in. I won't say saved Team USA, but did save Team USA, because all of those guys admitted it, including Coach K himself. But He said, if you look back, and I thought about this because I was like, damn, this is true. Every time they had an Olympics from a player that already was like of a notable name, averaging, let's just say 20 plus, and obviously the clear cut number one on the team. And when they make Team USA and they come back from the Olympics, they always have an explosive big leap of performance that next year. And he explained why. He said, because a lot of the times when you're on Team USA, more specifically for the Olympics, you have the best of the best there. People that you're either fighting tooth and nail with in a particular position, in your position, saying you're the best at, or an overall player that people look at. And then we'll just use LeBron James, for example, them saying best player in the world, hands down. And you get to see firsthand of their work ethic. You get to see firsthand of their routine of what they do on a daily basis and things of that nature. It only makes you better because you're seeing now what you now have to do, how much more work you got to put in for you to either keep up or pass that person or surpass that person. So for them, it's always a leap year. So for me, when I looked at it, this roster this time around, I said, man, you got Steph and you got LeBron there. Bro, Anthony Edwards is looking at you got Steph, LeBron, and KD. Three of the hardest working players in the league and three of the best to ever do it. All represent something different. Obviously, we know Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. The dude can do. He can shoot his shooting matches with any team he wants. Off like literally, he can go anywhere and be an instant impact. Off the dribble, catch and shoot, hesitation, step back, mid range, 3-pointer, layups, all of it. He can do it all, right? With KD, you got a person that believe every bucket is equal. And what do I mean by that is he doesn't fall in love with a 3-pointer. KD is a mid-range assassin, and he can attack the rim. Obviously, he's 7 foot, so he can do it all too. But for him, every bucket is equal. So he will mid-range you to death with no problem and never care about stepping back to 3-point line. But if his mid-range is going and we know KD can shoot. He moves back and start knocking down threes. We've seen him run off some threes in a row on your head and very comfortable from shooting it from anywhere. So my bad, y'all. I didn't got lost in my cook over here. Quee said, yep, sure does. Those damn football footwork drills. I hated them, but they was needed. Yeah, absolutely. He said, keep cooking. Appreciate you, bro. Definitely on the job, man. On the job. They gonna make you better. Absolutely. What's good with it, Joe Sloan? Salute to you. Yes. And so what do I mean by that is that, and what I was cooking on, I almost lost my tangent train of thought, is that KD represents an efficiency factor of make sure you have this going first before you start doing this. When it, like, for example, Steph will come out like in the exhibition game they just had versus, I think that was Australia. Literally first shot of the game was a 3, right? And a lot of people would rather try to work and for them, they're looking for the best shot. First shot of the game was a 3. If you look at KD's first shot, I would say 8 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 times, it's a mid-range every time, every game. It's never, his first shot is never a 3-pointer, even though they go through their warm-up and routine prior, so they're coming into the game hot. People don't understand is that they do their warm-ups. After they finish doing warm-ups, they do the intros. So there's a cool down period in between there. They have to figure a way to stay hot and stay warm in between these things, right? So for him, he said it. He starts off the game with a mid-range. I'm pretty sure there's maybe like 1 or 2 clips you ever see him shooting a 3. His very first shot is a 3-pointer. It's normally, like I said, 8 or 9 times out of 10, his very first shot in the game is a mid-range shot because it's getting a feel for it. A lot of players use getting to the rim or getting to the free throw line as a way to get in rhythm, get a feel for the basketball. If you're unfamiliar, you haven't played basketball, I can tell you right now, because I've done it myself. If you're warming up and you switch balls and it's a different ball that has a little bit more air or a little less air, grip is a little different and things of that nature, it's a little dry or it might be slippery, I promise you, you're not going to shoot the same with one ball than you do with the other. You're not going to do it. You always have to get the feel of whatever that ball is. None of these balls are every ball isn't the same. They're not like, they might not the same be made by Spalding or Wilson or whatever the case may be, but your feel of the ball you were just shooting with is going to be different. So you get yourself in your own rhythm, right? But if you notice, every player before the tip-off, they always go and rub the ball or they bounce it just to see and try and get a little bit of a step up on feeling the ball and having a rhythm for it. So a lot of them, they start either attacking the rim or mid range just to get the feel of the ball, or get to the free throw line if you can. Again, just to get yourself in rhythm. So that's KD's method. When you look at LeBron attacks the game from a holistic standpoint. He doesn't look to go out there to be a scorer right away. He wants to get his teammates involved, and while him getting his teammates involved, he understands he can get his shot off whenever he so chooses. He'd rather get everybody else going because he knows he's going to need them at some point throughout the game. But when it comes down to it, and he needs a bucket and he needs to get a bucket, he knows I can go get a bucket and there's nothing you can do about it. Because he's 6'9", 240, 250, 260, however much he is, right? Steph is not that. And even though KD is 7 foot, KD probably weighs the same as me. And I probably think I outweigh KD, to be honest with y'all. And that's no slighter, no slighter or anything like that to KD. It's just I'm only presenting the point of it is that all of them work on different elements of the game, which means their routines, workouts, and everything they do, training and stuff like that, it's all different. So Anthony Edwards and all these other younger players, they're getting to see all of these proficient, superstar, veteran players go through their workouts, go through their routines, go through everything they do, their work regimens. They're getting the experience and see that firsthand. So I think, honestly, after this, Anthony Edwards is going to come back on extreme demon time. We saw him do that just in this playoff this season, how they ramped it up from the Wolves, obviously going from like I wouldn't say a laughter of an organization or looked at as a non-serious competitor to all of a sudden they handling business like they did, in the playoffs, knocking out the defending champs. Nobody saw that coming except for me because I did predict it. But, if y'all, and speaking of that, my prediction record is flawless, extremely flawless, man. Quick pat on the back for that. But but what I'm saying is that his leap, and I'm tying this back to Dwayne Wade when he said all of these players after the Olympics always have a leap in their production or a leap in their career, or it's a launching pad for them. I cannot wait to see how Anthony Edwards come back next year from this. I cannot wait to see how AD, even though AD has won a championship and we know he's one of the best to do it when healthy, I want to see how he comes back from this. Seeing that he's out there playing like crazy now, having 6 blocks and things of that nature in the Olympics. I want to see the type of jump that he can have. Like I'm looking at like a Tyrese Halliburton type of jump he can have. Drew Holiday, he's been there before. He's used to this. Bam Adebayo, I want to see what he can do. Joel Embiid, again, who surprisingly to me switched his nationalism or switched to Team USA. I did not see that coming, but it is what it is. But him switching to Team USA, what type of leap he can have. And hopefully his health is on the up and up too, by the way. And if y'all don't know, he was dealing with Bell's palsy, which is like half of his face or half of his body. The muscle is relaxed. It still functions, but it kind of, half his face is like droopy and stuff like that. Hopefully his health is right, and shout out to him. But just to see the type of leap that he has, like I want to see all of these younger players. Jason Tatum, again, he just won a championship, but I want to see what else he can do to help build his game, make his game better. Devin Booker, exact same thing. Even though Devin Booker's been in the league for a while, I feel like for him, he needs to work on his basketball handle and his defense. I'm not quite sold on Devin Booker, and people probably gonna look like you tripping. D Booker's a bucket. He is a bucket until he isn't. His assist, his basketball IQ at seeing the court is not good. His defense is not good. His ball handling is not good. If you watch him handling the ball, it's a get to the spot dribble. And if people aren't sure what that means, he's 1-2, like 3 dribbles hard right pull up, 3 dribbles hard left pull up. You know what I'm saying? A left to right, not really a crossover, but just trying to create some space pull up. It's not and everybody I know. Everybody's not going to have a Kyrie handle or Steph Curry handle or Iverson handle where they're going to shake you out your shoes, set you down in your seat, and pull up in your face. I get that. But when you look back at a Kobe with crossovers, when you look at even at MJ, stiff as it is, crossover. LeBron, no crossovers. I ain't gonna even hold y'all at all. KD, as long as he has a crossover, like to get like to shake you out and kind of get you grooving. Devin Booker doesn't really have a handle like that to me. I'm sorry. Like I'm not sold, but he's still a hell of a hooper. But I want to see what he can do, what he takes away from this. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. My bad, y'all. AB said, what I was wondering is how Ja Morant, Zion, and Jalen get overlooked from Team USA. I saw some people I never heard before on the team. Bro, those people that's on that team ain't gonna be going to the Olympics. They just there as far as like select team people. I can tell you that right now, bro. Everybody that's gonna be suited up in Paris, you're gonna know every last one of them. I'll tell you that right now. But for Ja, it's the image, everything he went through, the fact that he had the suspension, also coming off an injury. He was already X'd out of that. Jaylen Brown, yeah. I've cooked on that too many times, but we know what that is. We know what that is. I think what I got 2 videos on that. If you got time, AB, check that out, bro. And anybody else listening, catching the playback or live, if you got time, go check out my Jaylen Brown video, and you'll understand what I mean. Zion, Pelicans wouldn't allow him to go out of shape. He gotta definitely work on. He definitely got to work on his how do I say conditioning, and he is, I won't say injury prone, but the Pelicans wasn't going to allow it. Team USA wasn't going to ask him either. They understand with Zion how unique and fragile that situation is there. So they're not going to bring him there. You know what I mean? So that's more so why. Diaz said, I think OKC will be in the finals this coming season. Hey, you could be right, but I don't think they're going to make it. The West, yeah, hell no. OKC is not going to get past Dallas. I don't know how else to really put that to you. With Klay Thompson going there, nah, they're not getting past Dallas. They're not getting past the Timberwolves. They're not getting past, bro. Nah, it's just the West right now is tough as hell. Tough as hell. And I just don't see OKC being able to do it, bro. I hate to say it. OKC not going to do it. Quee said, did you just mention a Blue Devil again? Oh, absolutely. Hell yeah, I did. What's good with him? Been disrespectful. He said Cooper Flag, young OG. Yeah. I know Cooper's on there. Cooper is killing their ass in them goddamn scrimmages. Cooper is definitely killing them in the scrimmages for sure. Cooper Flag, #1 pick. What you think? I think that is realistic. Why? Already is out in the masses, already a marketable player. He got the, I don't even want to say it, but I have to because I got to keep it a buck. He got the complexion for the protection of it, meaning they're searching for the next Larry Bird, which is why they're clinging on so hard to Caitlin Clark. And that's another thing I don't want to go down, but Cooper Flag can hoop. And he's getting some experience right now that a lot of other players at his age are not getting. So him, yeah, nah, I can easily see that being the case, bro. Because again, he's already a name, like damn near a household name for dunking on people or being extremely athletic, but him getting the reps in against Team USA and players of that caliber, it's already out there. Scouts are seeing what they see. And if he's doing that at that age, they can only imagine what a team can do when they get a hold of him, in the league. You know what I'm saying? When they have their scouts or their respective training staff having him go through element workout, skills workouts and working on weaknesses and things of that nature. I can definitely see Cooper Flag going #1. But again, who's the #1 draft pick that just happened now in Bronny's pick? Now, a lot of people can't even name him. Only thing people are talking about is Bronny James and Dalton Connect is in that same conversation just because they teammates. So it's like it all depends. But for me, I think he can go #1, and him going over and playing with Team USA like that, or being on that select team to compete, yeah, that's just another feather in the cap for him for his future for sure. And he said, what's good, BX all day? Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate you coming through. Don't make it your last time. Smash the like button if you can. Sub to the channel. Typically, I'll go live every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. But my kids not here. They with the grandparents. So I figured I just watched a dope interview. I definitely wanted to build and talk about it. So I hopped on here and definitely keeping it as close as I can to the topic at hand. But again, the questions being asked all kind of tie into it. So that's how I'm able to kind of flow with these different elements of it and talk about it. Diaz said Lomostenko is scared of Tank. That's no surprise to me. That ain't surprising. What's good with the PGA? Big dog, salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. That's definitely no surprise that Lomachenko is doing what he do or whatever. But for me, it's like it is what it is, man. We gonna with boxing, we know what it is. People gonna be scared to fight each other, or they gonna use it as promotion, or they gonna do what they do to try and sell a fight or not sell it, or excuses to go a different route and this, that, and that. For me, it's just I just want to see it. I didn't gave up on even caring anything about the rest of it at this point. Um, Brother PJ's Big Dog said Cooper Flag already #1 pick in the 2025 draft. Yeah, and that's why I said for me, I wouldn't be surprised at all. So he a hell of a hooper, hell of a hooper. And the fact is, with your name being out there as it is already, that's an absolute plus, absolute plus. So that's one thing he got working in favor of him. So now the sky's the limit. The camera's still going to stay on him. The media is going to stay on him. Whatever he's going to do going forward, they're going to be right there tracking him every step of every step of the way. But yeah, so D Wade Melo was just giving his experience, saying like they brought him in as a teenager. You know what I mean? That to come in thinking he was going to be playing, right? And I think that was like first year in the league when they had him on the team where it was just on the select team, and then they made the actual Olympic team, but didn't really play meaningful minutes. It was just more so garnering and gaining that experience of being there, right? So once they were there, they got to see how Team USA worked. They got to be around all these other players of high caliber. And Melo admitted it. That was more of the important lesson more than anything, right? And he was saying like, because when you're a teenager or 19 or, and used to being the #1 guy, whether it be in college or on your team, and then you get brought into a situation where you're not the #1 guy, you just one of the guys. It's an ego check, right? So you check your ego right there. And then like and for him, he said players he look up to and stuff like that, he got to sit back and watch. Again, the same thing I just broke down as far as what Anthony Edwards and the other guys are Tyrese Halliburton are doing. That's what they were doing. Soaking the moment all in, seeing how hard these guys work. Seeing, how much work they put in so they can understand to get to that level, I got to work just as hard or harder to surpass that type of player. And so that's one lesson he said that he would share with any of the younger generation of players that's coming up. And that's what you're seeing now, right? And D Wade said the same thing. He was like, bro, like we was putting in work when we needed to when we were doing these scrimmages, but then when the game would come, we just we ain't getting no clock, and he's seeing people playing ahead of him that he know he could bust their ass, but he not getting no clock from it. So he said it was something that it's humbling, but at the same time, it allows you to understand that it's bigger than you. It's bigger than the individual standpoint, right? So you want to see this person do this. You want to see this person do that. So he was able to kind of go that route and get that type of understanding. So going down that whole thing and stuff like that, let's fast forward to going to the Redeem team. With D Wade, him saying he got to see how hard Kobe worked and all that. And he had his best year after that because he realized how hard he worked. He realized the hours that Kobe put in. And it made him say, like, hey, I'm slacking. Like, I'm slacking in a major way. So it made him tighten up on every facet of his game. That's when you go back, bro, like it turned into something else. It turned into like a kind of a rivalry when he went to go play against Kobe, when he had D Wade, when D Wade had LeBron and went to go play against Kobe and he broke Kobe's nose and all-star games and stuff like that. He thought at first it was a facade at how the reputation of Kobe was, which was that dude is intense the entire time when it comes to basketball. He's intense when it comes to competing and wanting to win at everything and not taking no shortcuts. DS said hopefully Turkey can say boxing. I mean, if it's over in the US, he can. He got the money to do it, so why not? But he said it like, bro, it turned a different notch. And then even Kobe giving Melo his flowers, saying he was one of the hardest people to guard because he had the size to do everything and the speed and skills to do it all. And so that was something that Melo said that he took away, that let him know, like, keep working, keep grinding. And so they shared their experience in Team USA, and I broke that part down, right? But the other part that told me is that like when D Wade said, like, for him, when it comes to the game of basketball and understanding how you have to make sure the way you're locked into it is that if you're surrounded by the right veterans, then you have a great opportunity at your game evolving, but you also have to put in the work to do it. If you're surrounded by people that's from a losing culture, they're going to have losing habits, and those losing habits might rub off on you if you're a person that's not strong-willed, that's willing to stick to it and do what you got to do. And that was one thing that you can kind of take that just out of basketball and put that into life itself, and kind of literally put real life situations. So for me, again, from the interview I took away from it, man, it was extremely dope. And I highly recommend anybody that hasn't seen it, go check it out. Again, it's 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero. Go check it out. Go subscribe to them brothers, man. They doing great work over there. Like I said, I subscribed immediately right when I saw it, and just listening to just hearing D Wade's story. And again, the fun, I hate to go back to it. The funniest part was when he said, like, I ain't never been called pretty in my life, but him being next to Shaq, and Shaq opened the door for him. All of a sudden, you see him on top sending, best looking man, or some type of magazine thing. He said, man, hey, he said, shout out to Diesel. That's one thing that made me crack up, man. I could not stop laughing about that. But that whole interview was fire, man. I recommend y'all go check it out. Extremely dope conversation. And like I said, tons of gems being dropped in there, just talking about experiences from a standpoint of, coming into the league, being in the league, advancement opportunities in the league, and then Team USA, post league. All these things you can take away from it. Because if y'all that didn't know, I think D Wade is part owner or majority owner, or he's in that ownership tier or bucket with the Utah Jazz. So D Wade is doing things. He's making moves, man. Definitely making moves. So definitely go and check that out for that too. But what else they have in there, man? I'm just trying to think, because that interview was like 2.5 hours long, but them brothers was just chopping it up and just breaking down players and just talking about certain things that came with it. And so, speaking of post career, when he got named top 75 players of all time, right? And he said, and this is one thing that I knew already, but I figured I'd share this with y'all. He said when they were doing it, right, when they did it, they broke the players up into segments of their positions, meaning all the point guards go here, all the shooting guards here, all the small forwards here, power forwards here, centers here, right? And Dwayne said that he was looking at an Iverson or Isaiah Thomas, and looking at these other players, and I'm just using Isaiah Thomas as an example. I can't remember if he's on top 75 or not, but when he's looking at these other players that are smaller guards, like the point guards, for example, they're maybe like 5'10", maybe 6 foot, 6'1", if that. And then he was like, he's standing over here with the shooting guards, and they 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". And he looking at them like, man, look at these little ass. Man, how the hell did you do this in the league? Or how the hell, man, like sizing them up, like, I'll bust your ass right now type of thing, right? This part had me cracking up. And he said, he was looking at them. Then he said he turned his head and he looked over at the small forwards. Now, mind you, the small forwards are 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", like kind of thing like that, right? And he said that the same look they had on their face when they looking at the point guards, the small forwards is looking at them the exact same way, like, man, I'll bust your little ass. Like, and then Melo said, from a small forward standpoint, he look over at the power forward, the 6'9", 6'10", 6'11" guys, they looking at them the same way, like, yo, little ass, how the hell? And obviously it goes forward. The center's looking at the power forwards, and he was like, it was just so much ego, competitive drive, and competitive nature all in one spot, and you could just see everybody sizing each other up. He was like, it was like one of the most surreal, fun, and unique situations to be in all at one. And I was like, yeah, that's true, man. Because I was like, even when you go to do pickup ball, when you see people leaning down tying their shoe, but you tying your shoe, but you scoping out the scene and what I'm saying, what's happening, right? And I was like, yeah, I done fell victim to something similar to that. I didn't really think, like, tying my shoe, checking out the competition. First thing I would do, I'm lacing up my shoes. I'm looking to see, like, how many is down, like, how many games are we back? Are we up next, or how many games? I got to stretch it, got to do some stretches, get a little warmed up, get the feel of the ball, dribble. Because I always would prefer to warm up some, whether it be stretching or dribbling the ball a little bit. For my shooting regimen, when I do warm-ups, man, I literally go right there, do 5 shots, bank shot. I'll be right there at the rim, like as if it's a layup, but I'm just shooting right off the glass. 5 shots, don't touch the rim. And then I would go middle, 5 shots, straight on, don't touch the rim. Then I would go to left side, 5 shots off the backboard, don't touch the rim, right? And then I would bag up from the middle and then see if I can hit 5 without hitting rim, right? and so when I was watching, just thinking in my head, like I was like, damn, did I ever do that? Did I ever show up to the gym and scope out like the people playing? I was like, nah, I didn't never really look at the people, bro. I would just look and see if I can go put some shots up to get warmed up. I just never cared. I did not care like who was out there, who was doing what and stuff like that. I just felt like when I get out there, like you're gonna have to worry about what I'm bringing to the table, and I can adjust to what you got. I got over 40 inch vertical. I know I can shoot. I understand defense. I can move my feet. I can finish with either hand. I'm comfortable with it. So I was confident in my skills, right? And so I was, and then when I was thinking back on it, I was like, I used to see a lot of people sitting, tying their lacing their shoes up, ready to get ready to hoop, but the whole time they just kind of like, okay, okay, like watching people and stuff. It's funny as hell because you think about it, you see it nowadays, right? Now I circle back and I say this. I went and I hooped not too long ago, and I haven't hooped in a minute. And I didn't get to get any warm-up shots in. I didn't get to like I barely got to stretch. Man, I went out and played a game. Conditioning is on point. I didn't get tired. But man, from a standpoint of shooting and just doing what I normally can do, oh my God, man, it felt so uncomfortable. It didn't feel right at all. I recommend to anybody else, don't ever try to show up cold and just hoop. Don't do it. Do not do it. You I ain't gonna say you're gonna embarrass yourself, but it's better to always try to show up a little early and get some shots up or get warmed up so you can at least feel normal. When you go and try and hoop cold, it feels so awkward. At least for me, it felt so awkward. But back to this D Wade thing, man. But him just saying like all of that, and he said, just hearing the level of trash talk taking place, Jordan talking to Magic and Magic talking to Jordan, and then Jordan telling Magic, man, I still bust your ass. Go get your shoes on right now. And there's audio out there of Jordan saying that to Magic, telling him, like, bro, I bust your ass. Go get your shoes. You want to play right now? You want to play right now? Go get your shoes on. Jordan is like that though. That's been Jordan mentality forever. Even there's obviously videos out there of Jordan at his own NBA camps where he doing what? Bullying the hell out of these kids, bullying these teenagers. What he did to OJ Mayo, like, and if y'all not familiar with that, he busts OJ Mayo ass. So it's like that Jordan is like that when it comes to he don't back down from challenges. At his advanced age, he's still gonna give you buckets. And so, or even the one where the kid said, if what did he say? The kid challenged Jordan saying, if you can't make 5 straight consecutive threes or shots, then we get free. All of us get free shoes or something like that. Jordan knocked down every last shot, bro, and then just looked at him. Oh, that's savage mode right there. That's a whole different level of savage for you to not want to give away shoe. But I think he still did it anyway. But it was just to prove a point, like from a competitive nature. Like, yeah, I'm still like that. Like, don't get it messed up. I'm still like that. So. And so just again, hearing the conversation from them, hearing it from their standpoint, extremely dope. Shout out to them again for a dope interview. Go check it out again. And I keep saying it. I'm not gonna stop saying it. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero. Go check it out, man. Extremely dope things they doing over there. Dope movement they got going. But yeah, man. So that's pretty much the gist of that. The reaction of it to it. Everything they had cooking and going for it. It was so much fun just to, again, listen to it. It was a dope listen, but it was just more fun just hearing it firsthand, for some of the things I knew, some of the things I didn't know, hearing from their perspective on things and just knowing like that's how they do, man. So that's my whole take on that, my breakdown of it. I tried to condense it down because like I said, it was a 2.5 hour interview. But again, in those stories, like they're doing the same thing kind of I did. I didn't go out tangent. Everything ties in together because it's all different pinpoints of it. You know what I mean? Brother Just Do said, dope Bill, bro. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, I got some time on my hands, so I figured I'd hop in and go live. I was gonna do a video, but I was like, man, I don't think a video would do it justice to be able to kind of have that conversation and interaction with y'all and kind of segue into different elements of it or to be able to conversate about it. So yeah, no, I had to hop on a line. Like I said, kids not here too, so definitely had to take advantage of it, man. But it's extremely dope build. Again, go check it out if you're not sure of it. 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero. Go check it out, man. It's so much fun. He said, "You've been cooking. Appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you, man. I'm trying. I'm working over here. I think it's starting to take off a little bit. The algorithm videos is out there, so I definitely keep on dropping them joints and just staying consistent, man. So again, looking to tie in more consistent days of lives. Again, I go live every Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Gonna try and definitely tie in 1 or 2 more days to talk, because I have a lot of things to talk about, different elements, and I can go anywhere in a basketball conversation as well. So I be definitely wanting to do it. So I might do more reaction lives or reaction videos to like some of these interviews and giving my perspective on it as well, and some of the things that I know, just because I feel I do it a little bit different, and there ain't never no hate, slight, or anything like that towards players when I'm giving reactions to certain things and stuff like that. It's always down the middle. It's always fun and lighthearted, but it's extremely honest, and it's filled with facts too. I let y'all know what's my opinion versus what isn't. You know what I mean? I make sure to let it be known. Um, but I might do some more because, like I said, it's definitely fun just to build and discuss some of those things. Because, like I said, I didn't have conversations when I was in high school and stuff with other NBA players. I met a bunch of them: Cole, Shaq, MJ, LeBron, like Trace McGrady, like the list, Melo, the list goes on. I've met all of these people when I was younger. You know what I mean? And this is prior to the whole social media heavy type of era and stuff like that, man. I'm an 80s baby. So it was prior to all of that. Back then we had what? If you had a pager, you was in. If you had a two-way pager, you was it. If you had a Nokia phone that you played Snake on, boy, you was something else. But then when the Razor came out, that was a game changer. The flip phone with the camera, bro, that was a game changer, man. What's good with it, Ricky Williams? Salute to you, bro. Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, that's the era I grew up in, man. That's the era I grew up. You had a beeper or a pager, is what they call it, pager or a beeper, depending on where you're from. Then you had a two-way pager. You know what I'm saying? The one where it was just you can message only. Mind you, my shit was not on that thing. I just had it for stunting purposes and open it in types and stuff, knowing damn well it can't no message gonna go through. If you hit send, a couple minutes later, it's gonna vibrate again, telling you error, message not sent, but you acting like you got a message. If you know, you know, man. If you know, you know. But and then the era of having again the Nokia phone, them, if you text on it, you know how it go, man. You only got about 60 minutes when you send a text, that count as a minute. So phone call, it's free after 9 o'clock or free after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you know what I'm saying, where you can have unlimited nighttime minutes. Or if it go from being prepaid to unlimited nighttime minutes. Yeah, bro. Like, and then like I said, when they went from having a Nokia to wait, was it wait a second, what my brother say? Jay Gill said the Razors, Blackberries, and Sidekicks. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think after the Nokia, was it the Razor that came out, or was it the Blackberries that came out first? It was one of them that came out first, where you literally could, it was like more of an advanced phone. It was a phone where you can actually do texting on the phone type of thing. But then when that Razor came out, like I said, with the camera, bro, everybody thought they was hot business. That little flimsy flip phone, man. And then that Sidekick came, you know what I'm saying? You flip that joint, that little noise. Knowing damn well a lot of these people phones not even on. They just got it for stunting purposes. You know what I mean? Ricky Williams said I had to wait till not after 9 p.m. to make calls. Otherwise, your bill will be like rent. Facts, bro. Definitely facts, man. You mess around and make a phone call, get stuck on there for 30 minutes, bro. You look up, that's $300 right there. People was like, hell no. He said, I had the Nokia and the pager. Yeah. That's why I said they call it a beeper or a pager, depending on where you're from. But definitely, Ricky Williams said BlackBerry was the business standard. Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's the funny thing, man. But I'm coming from that era. So for me, it was like I didn't believe in taking pictures back then, bro. It was normal to me. Like even now, I never really took any pictures with actually, now that I think about it, I don't take pictures with celebrities. It's just they're another person to me. Like you put your shoes on the same way I do, or you might have somebody else put your shoes on, but at the end of the day, You still walk on your 2 feet the same way I do. You go to sleep and wake up same way I do. You might have more plusher bed sheets or a bed or a pillow, but you still got to close the eyes for a certain amount of time. You still got to wake up. Still got to brush some teeth. So it's like that's just how I always viewed everybody. You know what I mean? And like I done met some serious celebs like Michael Johnson, which a lot of people. I mean, if you know track and field, then you know who Michael Johnson is. Met him because then when I was in Portland, you know, the high school I went to, we were sponsored by Jordan. And so went to the Nike. You all know that's where the Nike headquarters is too. But Nike factory up there, seeing the workout facilities they got, the tracks they, you know, all these places they have. Meeting Phil Knight, the head of Nike. Like, dude, I done met some people, Robert Kraft. Like, I done met some people that are like up there, billionaires, and just normal conversations with them. Just because it's like they normal, just like us. They came in the world just like us. They gonna leave and they gonna leave this world just like us. Nobody live forever. Only person I think that's gonna live forever is as far as like they image and everything. And you know, it can be 30, 40, and they still gonna be talking about Jordan. Why? You have kids that have never ever seen a single highlight clip of Jordan, but they gonna tell you he the greatest player of all time. That's what they gonna tell you. No clue. They don't even know what he looked like. They gonna tell you Jordan. Who's your favorite player? Michael Jordan. Who's the greatest player? Michael Jordan. How? I ain't never see nothing. What's good with the BC? Salute to you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Ricky Williams said I met Connie Chung. She cussed like a man. That's funny. That's funny as hell, bro. BC said everybody don't brush their teeth because you look like your breath stink. Hey, bro, at least they can see me. Hey, I tell you all this. Let me show y'all real quick. So y'all see how I got on a black beater, right? And there's a microphone that's right here. This is what it's like to see BC at nighttime. This is BC at night, and this is the backdrop. This is the backdrop. This is BC. Backdrop BC. Can you see the difference? Can you see? You can't see nothing, bro. Hey, that boy Brian Corbin nickname is 5W20. You know what I'm saying? Pennzoil head ass, boy. Hey, you better hope you weren't born at night, man. They might have messed around. What is that? Like, hey, that boy Brian Corbin, if he was a Pokemon, that boy would be ghastly. Hey, you better go, BC, you better go play it, bro. Ricky Williams said, "Cause he the GOAT." I'm telling you, bro. Like that, like these kids when they come to Jordan, bro, and they only know. And again, his shoes forever. But the only reason they know Jordan because of his shoes, but they gonna swear up and down that Jordan is the best thing that ever did it or best player to ever do it, and they never seen him in his life. That's the wild part, bro. Yeah, Jay Gill, this dude, man, right off the bat, gotta come in starting stuff, bro. He said darkness. Darkness, everybody, darkness. Oh man. BC said, duty breath boy. Hey. Hey, oh man, hey BC, you better not ever go running down the street. Somebody gonna say that's a runaway tire, bro. Bro, you as slick as oil, you as black as paint, darkness. Oh man, oh my god. BC, the only person I know instead of them giving him one of the what are they called? Instead of him being swaddled, they gave that man one of them goddamn reflection vests that the construction workers wear. BC had to be born in the daytime, bro. They had to be born. Had to be born in the daytime, bro. Oh man. Oh my god. Whew. BC, I needed that, man. Definitely needed that. My face hurt now, man. See this dude, man. This dude. But man, that's my time, man. I touched on everything I wanted to touch on. Again, an extremely dope conversation that took place. I can't say it enough. I'm gonna keep saying it. Y'all go check out 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo and Kid Mero. That's Carmelo Anthony's podcast with Kid Mero. Dope conversation, dope build. Melo, a hell of a down to earth person, man. They got a dope chemistry and they bring in dope conversation with dope players, man. Quee said they did I think he said Martin Lawrence and Will Smith for the Bad Boys thing. Y'all go check them out, man. Obviously they got ties to other celebrities, whether it be professional athletes or actors or actresses. Go check them out, man. They doing dope work over there. I'm gonna check out definitely more content they got. Drop more reaction videos to things we see for these players and give them my perspective and spin on it and shed some different light on it, man. Because it's a lot of this that they give it just kind of one side, but this also it ties into a lot of the perspective of what they said. And another part that I kind of left out on purpose, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and touch on it really quick before I get up out of here. When Melo said when he was looking at players, like looking at the guy ahead of him on Team USA, knowing he could bust their ass, and how is this person playing above him or in front of him, and and he said, I'm curious to see who's gonna start the game for this Team USA, this current roster as of right now, 2024. I'm curious to see who's gonna start. Who's gonna feel a certain way about starting and not starting, right? And immediately, the immediate reaction from D Wade was, I want to see who's closing. That tells you the different mindset of a winner's mentality of a person that was more so concerned about the image of thing versus another person that was more concerned about winning because they won at the highest level. Meaning, obviously, we know D Wade is a 3-time NBA champion versus Carmelo, who never won a championship, but if I'm not mistaken, has the most gold medals out of the players. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Somebody fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that is the case, that he has the most gold medals, right? It tells you the different mindset of where they're at and the accomplishments along with the success they had in their careers. One is worried about image and starting, and one is worried about finishing and winning championships. And that's how it panned out for Melo's career, is that this is just my perspective. It panned out for his career because he chased the bag and he chased being the number one guy instead of, I would say, prioritizing winning and competing for a championship. I'm not saying for him to chase the team to go get it. I'm saying for him to make a decision that put him in the best situation for him to win a championship. So that's just my little gold nugget. I wanted to go out there and give my own perspective on that part. PJ Big Dog said Embiid playing like he should, he should have been sent home with Kawhi. He ain't right, and he looks slow and still dragging his legs. Yeah, he coming back off an injury, but like I said, PJ Big Dog, he dealing with Bell's palsy as well, which is some form of like cerebral palsy, where half, like for example, in the playoffs last year, half of his face, the muscles were what is it called? I would say the muscles were relaxed, meaning like his face was like droopy because the muscles were like partially paralyzed, and I think it was just half of his face. Obviously not half of his body, but I think it was half of his face that was like partially paralyzed. So he's dealing with that. So I don't know how that ties into him as far as like the rest of his body and his health and stuff like that. But if I'm not mistaken, he is coming off an injury. But yeah, I think same thing with KD. I think KD should be at home in Phoenix, resting up and gearing up to make a playoff push. That's what I think he should be doing. But instead, again, I can't tell these guys what to do and tell them what they should do. It's just he's prioritizing playing for Team USA. And yeah, he's coming off of an injury. He hasn't been able to practice or play a scrimmage yet. And so it's like some of these guys want to play for Team USA that bad or be a part of that brotherhood where they're willing to do it. Kawhi, I think more of the Clippers and Team USA was like, nah, bro, like you, like you're one player that we just can't really, it's a neurological disorder. Yeah. But I just know it's called Bell's palsy though. For Kawhi, the Clippers pulled the trigger on that. They were just like, hell no. Nope. So with KD, I'm not sure what's going on with him and the Suns. You keep hearing conflicting reports or rumors and stuff like that. I'm not going to feed into it, but If I was them, I would pull the plug. But you know what I mean? It's just that's just my thing, right? PJ Big Dog said facts. That's why his fat boy should be at home recovering and trying to win for affiliate chip. Damn. Jay Gibbs said Melo has more gold medals than any country and player except the U.S. Okay, so I was right then. I just wanted to make sure. Like I said, I thought that's what it was, but I couldn't remember. BC said it's like a stroke. Okay, the symptoms are a stroke. Like okay, yeah, and I knew like again with him, it's just something he's dealing with and fighting through, right? But I think for me, definitely would have him at home. I mean, the more the merrier. They don't really need him, so I think if they want to utilize him in certain aspects and allow him to win gold, that's cool. You know what I mean? I just want to make sure that everybody comes away, knock on wood, everybody comes away healthy, no injuries. They win gold, they go back, and they're able to have career high numbers across the board. That's my hope for all of them. You know what I mean? Jay Gibbs said KD might tie Melo this year if he wins it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just knew Melo he was either one up or has the most gold medals out of players. I just couldn't remember. But that's my time, man. Again, go check out that dope bill. Go check out the content. If you're not subscribed to them, go subscribe. I mean, obviously, my channel is like this compared to theirs. But either way, we're gonna keep grinding, keep working, keep giving perspectives. If you're a fan of basketball, we're gonna have a dope conversation. We're gonna keep our love for the game right there. If you're an ex-fan of basketball, I'm gonna try to bring you back, reignite, rejuvenate that love for the game. If you're new to the game, I would love to walk you through the process, introduce you to the game of basketball, and from every avenue that I know the best way I can, and make you a super fan of the sport. You know what I mean? But we definitely not gonna make sure that you walking into it blind or naive. We're gonna keep things in perspective right down the middle, and we're gonna make sure you're educated on what you're hearing and what you're knowing. BC said I'm rooting for Bronny because it's like, nigga, forget he almost died. Yep, and I cooked on that earlier too. That's the same thing I said. Not only that, but just the fact of people don't realize, like, just because you come from a lineage or your dad is the greatest player of all time, those type of shoes to fill is tough. Look at Jordan kids. Marcus Jordan is only known for knocking down, you know what I'm saying, a deep shot at Larsa Pippen. And that's no sign of disrespect. It just is what it is. You don't know him for anything else. You don't know Jordan kids for nothing. Why? You know what that is. It goes without saying, man. BC said, and the white boy was named Shepard. Oh, okay. The one you was telling about. Okay. But yeah, man. So that's my closing to this. Again, I appreciate each and every one of y'all showing up, being active and engaging in the chat. I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate Mr. Just Do hitting that super chat as well. Much love and appreciation for that. I appreciate each and every one of y'all that's watching the live, catching the playback on this joint. Make sure again you smash the like button, sub to the channel if you're new. We're gonna keep building, keep having dope conversations and loving the game of basketball the best way we know how. And I appreciate each and every one of y'all's support for this too. BC says Shaq kids play ball. Yep, they play ball. I think if I'm not mistaken, Sharif was the one that had a lot of push behind him, but I think he had a health scare or health situation as well. So I think he's still trying to work his way back into it. But yeah, he can hoop though. Like, and he's of size where he definitely can definitely. And daughters too. Yeah, Jacob. His daughters is out there. If I'm not mistaken, she's dunking now too. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think she's dunking now too. Y'all go check out Sharif and Shaq kids, his daughter. Go support them and go check out her games as well, man. They putting in work over there for sure. And shout out to the O'Neal family, but go check them out. But that's all I got for y'all, man. I appreciate each and one of y'all coming through again. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Wait, BC said down there are so ugly too. Yeah, I'll let you get choked up by yourself on that, BC. I ain't jumping in that. You get choked out by yourself on that. I ain't going into that. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of y'all coming through. And as always, man, I'll be back at y'all another one. We out of here. Peace.